Okay, so today we'll be doing the squash and stretch for the wheel. Alright, you would have reached 4 wheels moving forward today, and with one control, and you would have got the roll and tilt, right, and door open, door close, and your chair will be able to move forward. So we'll be doing the squash and stretch for the wheel, which is example like this. So we want the tire rubber part to squash, but you can see that the rim does not squash, right? Because it's metallic, right? It's metal, so it cannot squash because of the material. But we want to get the set driven key that drives the tire and also the rim. Okay, you can also add the inside the brake disc itself. Okay, so we're going to go through this step today. Okay, so let me open a fresh model. Okay, so for this model I do not have the other controls. Let me just lighten the tire so that you can see easier. Okay, so I'll be just creating for one tire, and you can replicate for the rest of the tires. Okay, so first of all, I'll just create the control, right? We want the control to control the wheel squash. So I'm just going to place somewhere outside of the wheel. Just parent point constraint and pull it out also. So I see I can use the point constraint to position the object which I want to be near, and then simply modify from there. And I delete the point constraint. Just gonna name this left wheel control. And I'm going to freeze transformation to zero out the values. Okay, delete by type history. Delete by type history, and I'm going to add a control. Squash. Stretch. Okay, float minimum -10, maximum 10. And I'm going to create a squash factor for the tire. Alright, if you recall your bouncing ball exercise, we use the same squash deformer, the deform nonlinear squash. Okay, so I'm going to scale this down, because I want it to only affect the lower half of the wheel. So I'm going to position somewhere here. I'm going to change the bounding mode, okay, so that it affects only the bottom. So if I show you the factor now, you see that now it only affects the base, right? So of course we don't want it to squash that much, but now you can see that the handle only affect the lower half and not the top half, right? You see that, right? I can do that. Okay, so I'm just trying to put it as accurately as I can. Okay, so I'm going to do the set driven key so that this control will drive the squash factor node. So select the control under squash and stretch. Set driven key, where is it? Okay, here. Okay, so driver, control, driven, squash handle, factor, driven, load driven. So I want the squash and stretch to hook up with the factor node, and again set key for the first one, going down to the squash and stretch, squash. Okay, so squash maybe minus 0.05, or maybe it's too little. Maybe something like that. Set key. And I'm going to do the stretch. Okay, so now my wheel, lower part of the wheel will squash, but the rim is not moving, so I'm going to connect the rim to this control. So when the squash happens, the rim and the disc brake will also move. So I'm just going to go down to the group. What I want is the rim, which is this guy here, and the disc brake. This guy to this guy. Alright, so we want all this guy to move with this guy. So we'll do the rim first. So driven, squash and stretch. Sorry, driver, the control again, and driven will be the rim. Squash and stretch affecting the translate X. Okay, so I'm going to hook them up. Set key for the first one. Okay, so just make sure that is on 0 first. And during the squash, I'm going to lower the rim. Maybe 0.5, and I'm going to set key. Going up to the positive stretch, and then I'll move up the rim. Okay, maybe eyeball something like that. So set key. Right, so now if I move the squash and stretch, the rim will move with the control. Okay, so I can do the same for the rest of the pipes. The rest of the disc brake inside, because when the controls, when the rim move, of course the disc brake will move. Right, so I'm just going to follow the same steps for set driven key for the following control. Okay. There you go. So once you're done with this, you just need to get this guy into this wheel control, right? So that it will follow. It will follow the squash and stretch. Will follow the control wherever it goes. Okay. That's what we're doing today. Okay, so we cover squash and stretch, set driven key, and then you can set driven key for individual parts also to connect to a control, so that multiple set driven keys are driven by one control. Okay, that's all. Thank you.